Today we're going to be taking a look at the Swagman XTC2 2-bike platform rack for 1.25" and 2" hitches. Part number is S64670. Now the Swagman XTC2 is easily one of the most popular bike racks available. I think that's for several reasons. One, it's really easy to use. We don't have a lot of moving parts that we have to deal with. Also, it's built really well. It's really solid. You're not going to have a lot of noise or a lot of movement as you head down the road, and it also comes at a very cost-effective price. Now when it comes to the ease of use factor, the XTC2 is going to hold your bike in basically 3 locations. You're going to have a front wheel hoop, a rear wheel hoop. I like that it rests down on top, and then we've got our rubber straps holding it in place. Then we'll have our frame hook up here on top. Now, this is going to work out with all different types of bikes. Some people prefer, with a carbon fiber style bike like this, not to have anything touch the frame. They can be pretty expensive, it's understandable. In that situation, I think you'd be better suited with a front wheel hook clamp, a clamp that would come down over the front wheel. But if you do decide on this rack, I don't think you're going to have many issues with it. The material that the hooks are coated in is a very dense, very good grade rubber. It has a little bit of give to it, but I don't think it's so hard you'll have to worry about it kind of rubbing off on the frame of the bike. And it's not so soft, like some of these are wrapped with just foam, and that foam over time tends to deteriorate, and then you can wind up with metal on bike contact. Now when it comes to the ease of use department, as far as loading up a bike goes, it's really quick and really straightforward. You don't have a lot of mechanisms to deal with. We just want to place our bike up and on. We're going to place the wheels into the cradle. Then at that point, we're just going to bring our hook down. Now we can just press on the hook, or we can press the lever here. That's our locking lever. Bring it down, then just apply a little pressure. And as you can see, nice and solid. At that point, we'll come to our front wheel cradle, get our strap secured, and our rear wheel cradle, get it secured. Now once we've got that done, we're ready to either load up our next bike or head down the road. An advantage you'll have with a platform style rack like this that we don't see out of the hanging style racks, that we're supporting the bike from the bottom, so we're not going to have to worry about our carbon bikes hanging and the frames being stressed. But also, we don't have the wheel going forward and back. A lot of times on a hanging style rack, the front wheel just kind of goes back and forth unless you get a strap to secure it. So that'll prevent any contact of that wheel with our vehicle or the bikes behind it. Now the XTC2 offers adjustable wheel cradles, so we can adjust the pairs forward and back or independently from one another. That helps us to accommodate bikes all the way up to 66 inches of wheelbase, but it's also going to help you position your bike so you can get space in between them. That way you're not going to have to worry about any kind of contact from one bike to the other. Now when loading multiple bikes, you definitely want to make sure that the heaviest bike is going to be closer to the vehicle and the lighter bike further back. Now the wheel cradles are going to accept a tire up to 2.5 inches wide. So not only is that going to work out great for road bike tires, but also for mountain bike tires. When they get wider, all of them are held in place really well. Even going to work out really well for the ladies' bikes and for the kids' bikes. The cradles have also been designed to work with wheels from 20 all the way up to 29 inches. Now regardless of the frame type that you have, the XTC2 does a great job of fitting just about any bike out there. You see here we've got kind of a higher cross tube. On our mountain bike it drops down a little bit more. Both of our hooks are independent from one another, so they're going to adjust independently and they're offset. So this one holds a little bit lower, this one holds a little bit higher. So that gives us a good range of adjustment. It's even going to work out on the really short frames on like the kids' bikes, or the ladies' bikes will have a pretty big drop here. It's going to work out really well for just about all of those. If you do have some very odd frame on your bike or something that just doesn't work, they do offer an adapter bar. That's part number is 64005. The rack offers a 35-pound per bike weight limit on it. That's going to work out for just about all of your standard bikes out there on the market. The only real exception we see to that will be with the e-bikes. Those can be 40, 45, 50 pounds. Now to adjust the wheel cradles, we're going to have nice, large, easy to get a hold of knobs here on top. We just need to loosen those up, and then that's going to allow us to slide it in and out. Really easy, really simple. That gets us, like we said, all the way out to that 66-inch wheelbase. But when we bring them down all the way, we can get all the way down to 27 inches. So that's gonna cover just about all the bikes out there. We've got the mast that's designed to tilt down either to the left or to the right. We've got a pin at its base that we can pull. We can rotate this down and then get that pin reinserted. Now, I like this pin style. There are several bike racks that have this kind of pin style for folding arms and tucking arms away. This has a ball detent on it, which is just a little ball in the pin with a spring behind it. So as we put that in, it doesn't matter if we've got our handle tilted up or down or sideways. It goes in without any issue. Other racks like this, there's a little keyway, so you have to get the pin in just the right spot to be able to kind of wiggle it in or wiggle it out. So this kind of eliminates that process and makes it a little bit easier to use. All of the steel is really nice and heavy duty. You can feel the difference in this as compared to other racks. We're gonna have the black powder coat finish here on the main base, and then that's gonna turn into gray on our wheel hoops. The quality continues right on through those. Also with our shank, we have a 3-inch rise. So as it comes out of our receiver tube here, it comes up. That's gonna give us plenty of ground clearance here at the back side of the rack. You don't see that with all the platform racks out there on the market. Another thing here, going back to the quality, you can see the sleeve here, that adapts it from the 1.25" shank up to the 2-inch. So it's gonna work in both configurations. But this is made of an aluminum. In some racks that are a little lower quality, you'll find this is made of nylon, and that can tend to lead to a little bit of extra movement. Now, to keep everything nice and secure as we're heading down the road, we've got an anti-rattle bolt that's gonna come with the rack, threads right into the shank, and it pulls the shank over against the receiver tube. That eliminates the movement, and they've provided a clip here just to secure it in. Now, if we pull that clip out, I'm gonna loosen up the bolt slightly. Now, to loosen it or tighten it, you'll need a 19mm socket. You could also use a 3/4. They're just about the same size. And you'll see once we get this loose, see how much movement and play that we have without much pressure? As soon as we tighten that back down, we're gonna eliminate it. You can see right back, nice and secure. Now, as a replacement for this, if you want to lock the rack to your vehicle, you can use part number S64029. That'll give you a pin similar to this, or a bolt similar to this, with a lock on the end. To take that one step further, it also comes with a cable lock if you do part number S64031. That'll give you your locking bolt with a 7-foot cable to route through your bikes to keep your bikes secured to your rack and your rack secured to your vehicle. A lot of times we'll see people without bikes loaded, just with their bike racks on the back of the vehicle. I like the fact the Swagman can fold up really easily. Just have kind of the same way we did that center mast. We'll have them on the outside here. We're able to pull that, rotate it, and put our pin back in. And do that on the other side as well. As you can see, that's gonna make it nice and compact, so we're not gonna have to worry about a wide platform here behind our vehicle, but it also makes it very convenient for storage. So when it comes time to store it, as we talked about, of course you'll need to remove the pin and clip. You can see it's going to be very narrow, doesn't take up a lot of space, so this can easily be set over along the wall in your garage or out of the way, so you don't have to really worry about a big platform style rack taking up a lot of room. Now, to help determine whether the XTC2 is going to fit on your vehicle, we'd like to give you a couple measurements. We're going to go from the center of the hitch pinhole. You just want to find the pinhole on your hitch. And then out to this edge is going to be 8 inches. So you need to make sure that you've got that kind of clearance from your bumper into that pinhole if yours sits in and under the vehicle. Also, from the center of that hitch pinhole to our upright bar here, we've got about 15 inches. Now, in most situations, we found with this in the upright position, on SUVs with hatches, you're just not going to get it open. You will have to lay that down. Each cradle arm is also going to have a hole drilled through both sides to allow us to use a small padlock to secure these. If we can't press this button in, this arm's not going to release, so our bike can't be removed. Now, you'll need a lock with a 3/16 inch shank or hook on it to go through. You can get that on our website as part number 131D. Now let's take a second and compare the XTC2 to other similar two-bike platform style racks. Typically when we compare anything, we like to look at other manufacturers to kind of see the differences, but really the best choices in this two-bike platform style category seems to always go back to the Swagman. The XC2 will be kind of the little brother of the XTC2. It's very similar in design. Have a center mast here, gonna have the same style of hooks with the same padding on them. So really good at holding the bike. Your wheel cradles are gonna be slightly different. They offer kind of big loops, kind of go like this. These are a little bit more robust. They look a little bit sturdier, but the weight capacities from one rack to the other are gonna be the same at 35 pounds per bike. With the XTC2, the wheel cradles are designed to hold tires up to 2.5 inches, but with the XC2, that's gonna go up to 3.5. So if you've got a wider tire, that might be a slightly better option for you. Now with the wheelbase, the XTC2, we can go all the way out to 66 inches. With the XC2, we're gonna be down to 51.5, so it kind of limits us there a little bit. But that comes at a really, really good price point. You're gonna get a really good rack, a really good price. Now, as far as a rack that's going to give you a few more features than what you get with the XTC2, the Swagman Chinook is a really good option. Same hook material up here, so we're going to get great protection for our bikes. But the slide handles here are a little bit larger and easy to operate, and they incorporate locks already, so you don't have to worry about purchasing those additionally. Also, you will get a locking hitch pin, so that helps to secure not only the bikes to the rack, but the rack to the vehicle. Now the wheel cradles, I like the design on the Chinook a little bit better. They're designed as kind of a tray that comes up. That's gonna give us full wheel contact as we place our wheels down and in. Whereas with the XC2 or the XTC2 here, we just get the contact on the front and on the back edge. Also the straps that are gonna hold the tires down in those cradles have spacers on them. It's a ratcheting design. I just think it's a little more sturdy. Now the biggest gain you're gonna get with the Chinook is gonna be that it will fold away from your vehicle for access to the hatch, even if you have the bikes loaded. That gives you really good options, a little bit easier to use than what you're gonna get with the XTC2 because it doesn't fold away. Also, when you don't have the bikes loaded, the Chinook will fold up toward the rear of the vehicle. That's gonna eliminate some of the space you'll need behind it for parking and things like that. Now the wheel cradles on the Chinook are gonna be a little bit wider. They're gonna accept a tire up to 3 inches. Also, the Chinook will give you a 45 pound per bike capacity, where with the XC2 or XTC2, we're gonna be at 35 pounds per bike. So with the Chinook, we're gonna pick up some ease of use. We're gonna pick up those nicer wheel cradles, and we're gonna pick up a rack that's fully equipped with locks when we get it. And the price point isn't that much higher than what we see out of the XTC2. And that'll complete our look at the Swagman XTC2, part number S64670.